on behalf of Emmanuel Hospital Association. It's my privilege to represent Emmanuel Hospital Association, which is a group of hospitals working together for the kingdom of God, and it came up in the year 1955. So we had titled this as a 55-year-old journey of this mission. And as I represent, I want to let you know that this is a hospital group having 19 hospitals working under one umbrella in 8 states of India, which we say was in a bit of a, what I would say, it got okayed just a day before I was to travel. I am working in a place called Herbertpur, a very small place in the state of Uttarakhand, which is in the northern part of India. And it happens to be a place which I would say has a population, the state has a population of 10 million, and we are 1 hour from the district place of Dehradun. And that's the team of doctors we have, and we have a chapel, and we have a college of nursing, and it's one of the pictures of the graduation which is there. It was an old hospital. About 5 years back, we got a new building, and I thought I'll keep that building, that as a focus. And to let you know how this group of hospital came up to be, India had, we are told, almost 1,000 hospitals run by missionaries when pre-independence. And when India got independent, and then many of the hospitals were handed over to church run or some other ways, and because the missionaries had to return back, about 700 of them closed, and around 300 remain. Of the 300 also, very probably about 100 are functional. That is the statistics. And how this came up to be, in late 60s, the missionaries were all asked to go back to their countries. And they had a burden, and about 6 or 7 of them came together. They were all run by different missions. And how to continue this legacy, they didn't want to hand it over to a church, because one, they were from different churches, how they can come under one umbrella. Second is how it can be sustained. And they had seen that many hospitals run by churches ran into problems. So they thought about, they prayed, and they wanted to have an organization run as a hospital association. And God used unlikely people. A doctor from New Zealand, who came as a visiting professor to one of the most premier institutes in India, called Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research. Dr. Ray Windsor, he was a cardiothoracic surgeon, and that means he was doing open heart surgeries. He was given a burden, because though he was in Chandigarh, which is in Punjab, in the northern part, he had some interest in missions. He met with a man called Alan Norrish, who was from British medical missions, and he told him, why don't you go and help out? So he started his journeys to small hospitals. He came to Herbertpur, he came to Kachua. These are places in north of India. And then Mr. Alan Norrish said, you try to be the bridge to start an organization coming together. And Ray Windsor, in time, gave up his cardiothoracic surgery, became a family physician, a community medicine specialist. In those days, I'm sure it is going to be a tough time. Recently I was going through the 25th anniversary manual of EHA, called, it's a small booklet called God with Us, because Emmanuel means God with us. And this is amazing. The people who began this organization had a great vision, and they gave up a lot of their wonderful positions to come down. And Ray Windsor, and he believed that it was God who led him to start working with various missions to come together to form. and they had some other name in their mind. But when they came together, the Indian arm, they formed two organizations. One was called the Evangelical Fellowship of India. The other was Itani or Itasi. These organizations were formed to keep the land together, because they were from different missions, different ideologies, but how to come together. So they formed a very innovative way of coming together. The history is important because we are at crossroads. We are 55 years, and I was telling somebody we are in the third generation of the history of this organization. And we have a lot of possibilities, but we have great danger of losing sight of what it was, and probably get lost in the sea of what we call medical work, this thing. So the founding vision was there. There were 6 hospitals in the 70s. Hubbardpur, where I am working, was one of them. Hubbardpur is also special because it was not run by church. It was one person who started the hospital, and it was a kind of a private hospital because Dr. Lemon, Dr. Philip mentioned about him in one of the presentations, was a doctor. He was from a very rich family. He brought his legacy and started this. And he was, God had given him a vision and a burden to hand it over to someone. So he actually was very happy to give it to EHA. And EHA was formed as an organization to take care of these hospitals. Over time, many other missions joined it, and today we have 19 hospitals. And the mission of EHA is Fellowship for Transformation Through Caring. And the belief together, as we are told again and again, that it is primarily us who need transformation, and as we are transformed, we want to bring transformation to the communities we are serving. That is the mission, that it is a fellowship of Christian institutions and individuals existing to transform communities through caring, with primary emphasis on the poor and marginalized. That's the map. So I am coming up from the topmost, the red cross you can see. That's the northern part. It's about 300 kilometers from New Delhi. Many of you are familiar with New Delhi, the capital of India. And Dr. Philip was mentioning about Raxaul. That's about here. That's the Indo-Nepal border. Sorry, I don't have a pointer here. That's about the hospitals which are there. The good bit is that, there are the various states which are there. I need to run through. One of the statistics, this is from last year, that about 1 million people pass through the hospitals. I think it was Ligia you had put in your slides, or about Celine? Adeline. So those of you that more people would come through hospitals than through our churches. And especially in a country like India, it's a privilege that you can, and so many inpatients, so many deliveries. Dr. Philip mentioned that today this number would be more than this. At one hospital in Assam, we have more than 6,000. They have crossed 7,000 actually. 7,000 deliveries, which is more than what would happen in a medical college. And this is just, if you go there, it's a small hospital, very small place, very rural place, but they are able to do, and a lot of surgeries which are happening. Some statistics, Dr. Daniel mentioned some. This is probably, that's 1920, about the high maternal mortality, high neonatal mortality, or the infant mortality, and in various states. And in India, they have we call a sick person Bimar, and then we have the Bimar states, Bihar, and all those. These are the mnemonic, and we are privileged to be working in those states. What are the hospitals doing? They have hospitals, they have outreach clinics, they have nursing schools, they have disaster mitigation, they have some research which is going on, they have community work, they have palliative work, and there is disability work. Just to give some headlines, and as someone was asking, do we do only hospital work? how it is. So it is a holistic approach we would want to do, and God has called us to be. Some pictures of various places. Uh, since I'm representing EHA, and it is so much spread out, I don't have much time to let you know, but I will try to give you some glimpses of work which is happening and some stories which motivate me to be where I am, and also motivating seeing the work what it can be. Uh, we have places in Assam, we have places in Maharashtra. These are states in India, and we are believing that we are bringing transformation and a transform of a nation through staff, through the community, hospital which is being also catering to various needs. You have hospitals which were in very remote areas, and you have now hospitals. I think one of the challenges was to upgrade a hospital to the standards. India is fastly developing. As someone said, you may not find a good place, but you will find 5G. They have moved into, everything digital. Payments are happening digital. You go to have a cup of tea and you can pay 10 rupees in, UPI, the uniform. But then healthcare is something which is so difficult for various things. And we would want, and various stories, I think this is the end of what we are looking at. So these are, some pictures of community life. We are privileged to have a good campus in most of the places. We have a very good campus. We have families staying in. It is both a joy and also a pain, as we were told. I think morning. I'm very happy that Brother Samuel Law has been bringing up things which has been a struggle for me to come. Let me maybe I don't know when to share my story. In bits and pieces. I wanted to come when we have a structure. So our present executive director was supposed to come. He could not go. So we have a weekly meeting, and in one of the meetings he had just put up, there's a thing anyone would like to go. We have four people in the leadership, and there was another person. He said, no, I can't go. Can anybody go? I was just looking for a break. I didn't know where and what. And then I said, I'm not I'm not a tech guy and, going anywhere. I said, I'll try. And Deepak said, Mathew, you should go. He had the presentation. He gave me a presentation of 55 slides. I said, no, I can't do this. Let me see what I can pick up and do. And then he said, you go ahead, what to do? And I said, what about finances? EHA is going through a trouble. So the central office, though we are leading 19 office, central office doesn't have funds. So he said, Mathew, Hubbardpur will, I said, Hubbardpur also cannot. Then he said, okay, anyhow, I'm going to book. And then Deepak said, yes, funds will come. That was a different thing. But I was very happy that I would go. Then I applied for the visa. And then Philip is my good friend. We met first in 1992, 93. And I think we meet in crucial junctures. So Philip, I don't know whether Deepak told you or how. Philip said, Mathew, you should come. I am also putting this visa, there's an agent. If you want, go through the agent, that's better. And I didn't know that getting a Philippine visa was as difficult as getting a US visa. I put in all the papers. For my picture, I had to take a picture 4 or 5 times. Because I thought I had read the instruction and given, and this lady would say, perfectly white background, face should like this. You have to have, to cut the story short. And then she said, it will take 15 days. 8th of May, I applied. I said, 15 days, 23rd, I still have time. The visa didn't come till 28th. And 30th, I have to travel. And then I wrote to Philip, I don't know whether it will come. But the agent was quite confident that it should come through. And on 29th, the visa came. And on 29th, I'm looking for a ticket. And by then, the prices have gone up. Then somehow, we got a flight and I'm here. But I'm glad I came here more than the presentation, what I heard. I think the first message was excellent. Dr. Tagami was talking about certain things, Unless I am transformed and I am willing, many of the things which we are called to do. And whether I am working for the Lord or I am working with the Lord, I think that sometimes is a challenge. So the community is very important. Why I tell you this is, right now I'm heading a hospital, so the buck stops with me. So everywhere a discussion happens, people don't speak, and if I speak something, that will be the end of the matter. So I also am tempted either not to speak or to do something. But it's a beauty that whenever we come, we have a community to fall back on. Many of my friends, I have not studied in a Christian medical college. All my medical friends are non-Christian, and I'm thankful for it. Many of them have visited me, and all of them are awestruck at the community life. They come to in Odinchhatram, they come to Mussoorie, they come to Herbertpur, where I worked, and each of them, they are coming from big cities. One from Allahabad, one from Chandigarh, one from Nagpur, and they all said, Mathew, wish we could work in an environment like this. A gated community where I don't have to lock my house, I don't have to worry where my kids are, I don't have to, I can see my workplace. I open my door, the workplace is there. But that's also the joy and the pain, You meet the same person, you know everything about that other person. And we say that familiarity breeds contempt, But it is the joy of having that. And I think this conference, more than anything, I don't know whether Brother Samuel Law knew it, and he was keep telling. I think this morning he was talking about it can be messy, but that's what God is preparing you for. And I think God is still preparing me. It's been 20 years journey with EHA. I came, I don't know for how long. I had only said, somebody had asked how long. I said, as long as the Lord leads me, not knowing what it meant. I knew the right words. I knew the right things to say, but God is enabling me to walk the talk as many are praying. So this community enables. Why I tell is, my children have grown up in this place, and they call Herbertpur their home. It's not Kerala, it's not Tamil Nadu or any other place. And now they are studying in college, but they're dying to come back to meet their friends. And now is the vacation time, and they are so happy. They are so happy they're coming back and friends. So I thought, many times we, complain about having a small community, having problems, but this is the community. And I think the transformation starts with us. That's a reminder for me, and that's the joy. We have seen hospitals, which are dilapidated and getting transformed. I had the joy of witnessing 2 hospitals getting transformed from a very old place and getting to probably a very modern place. First place was run by a non-Christian guy. Nobody believed it. It was in Mussoorie, and I also didn't believe it till it happened. And whenever I go back there, I can still see that God can use anybody. And who was telling? Money is the last, you had mentioned? Money is the last thing. You need people. And I had read, have you read small books by E.M. Bounds on prayer? E.M. Bounds, you should get hold of it. Young people, you get hold of it. It's a small book on power of prayer. E.M. Bounds, he says in the preface, somebody else has written that this man was a man of prayer. And he said, man looks for method. Man looks for method. God looks for a man. Man is God's method. It's like Ezekiel, God looked for a man to stand in the gap. Am I willing? Are you willing to stand in the gap? I think that's a question for each of us. And it will take a lifetime to answer it. It's not an answer. You can give an answer right now, but each day you have to be that. And this transformation of the hospital, because when you look back, you work in low resource setting, you always think finances are difficult, and that can sometimes decide your decisions. But God has enabled me to see and witness that this can happen. That's Deepak and Ashita. They are in the mask. Deepak is a pediatric surgeon. Ashita is a physician, and they are a wonderful couple. They're actually younger to me, a little bit younger to me, but God has used them wonderfully, and they worked in very difficult places, and the place has got transformed. And also they have been able to mobilize a lot of things. God has used them wonderfully well. Where they are is in a very remote place of Maharashtra. It's about 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours from Mumbai or Bombay. But then that place is changing. Various activities. I think we don't have time to look at, we work in some of the hospitals in very remote areas. Some are in very affluent and, almost like a city place. But we are able to see that we are able to, there is flood response, there is in the village, and they're able to do, few of the hospitals had the privilege to be working with the government, and they have been commended by the government for TB work, for work with women, and working during COVID. One person was asking about how was COVID, and they heard that many of the Christian hospitals did great work. True, very true. It has been our privilege. And COVID was one time when we went through trouble, both financially, I think everywhere, but it was also the time when lot of aid came in, a lot of aid, both from Christian and non-Christian sources. And many of the EHA hospitals saw a lot of infrastructure being built after COVID. So we can, but it is this transformation in a community which is a joy to see. Not just financial, but in the way things change. So what are we doing? First, we are wanting to give high quality but affordable care to the people we serve. And place where I was sharing with someone, right now we are in a good position because the state of Uttarakhand has given 100% coverage of health, at least on paper, on policy. Everyone has a card. So if you come with a card to the hospital which has this scheme, you can get all the coverage. The only catch is the government may not pay you back. So right now we have a lot of work, but then every time a patient comes in, and if it's a surgery or a critical patient, we are both happy and sad. Happy that we can care and we can do so many things. Sad that when the bill goes up, you may not get paid back. And but then we are also happy. Otherwise, we say that we are there for the poor. As the cost is increasing, number of employees are increasing, we can't manage to, we pay our employees from what we get from the patient. So the cost also goes up. That means the poor cannot access. But through the scheme, at least everyone can walk into a hospital and we will be able to offer those care which is there. Then we are able to reach out to few areas. I would want to tell you right at this time, maybe in the end. Right now it's a privilege. One of the corporates in India called Wipro Foundation, Azim Premji is a very rich man. If you know, he will come in the billionaires list. He has pledged all of his wealth for charity, mostly for education. And it was last year, CMC got 500 crores. 5,000 million Indian rupees he gave to CMC, am I correct? To start another medical college campus. During COVID, they went around India and they found that Christian missionary hospitals are doing excellent work. So they gave some aid, they gave us equipment, they gave us whatever was needed. They came back and now some of their people have visited the hospital. They have chosen the hospital. We have not written. One lady came. We thought she is, because they are supporting our disability work. We were on alert. Any officer comes in, they are going to check our accounts. She said, no, we are here to look at your infrastructure, one-time help for your hospital for upgrade. There is no bar to the budget. You give us. So we have. So we had a plan. We had already given it to something, but it didn't work. We had actually made up a grand plan for USAID, and USAID is totally closed. So there was no way to do it. So she come in, and we just presented this. She said, this This is good because we have the proposal, it has got approved by the board, the municipal corporation. I think we are ready to go submit it. And this lady, her name is Haima, she is not Christian. And this foundation, the chairman of this foundation is actually a Muslim, but he is an agnostic. Wonderful man. She came and said, and then she was telling, she said, we are amazed that young guys like you are working in such places. And we want to walk alongside. These are her words. Then she said, we don't want our names anywhere. So I said, why you're giving so much money? They said, you guys are doing the work. We are only giving the money. You are doing the journey. It's a privilege to walk alongside with you for a short while. These are words of a non-Christian from a foundation. And then I asked her, how did you get into this? She is an IIM graduate. At the age of 24, she had an MBA from the Premier Institute. Then she was the world head of Tommy Hilfiger. She gave up that job because it didn't give her satisfaction, came into charity. She's still a non-Christian. And then she told us something which I thought wonderful. One of her friends had gone to Madhepura, one of her hospitals, and he was there for 3 weeks, 3 or 4 days. And one of the mornings, we have morning devotion, Philip shared. He recorded that message by Arpit, and he's also a non-Christian. He sends this message to this lady saying, listen to this sermon by this doctor, it is an amazing message. And this lady is coming to Herbertpur to tell me this. And I was really encouraged that God can use in different ways. They are starting a fellowship program because they saw that we are not getting doctors. So they said that there will be at least 1 or 2 among 100 even in any college who are not looking for money but looking for adventure and good work. So they said, you list up. So they have this year, just now they have rolled up that fellowship. They will pay the scholarship stipend. And they are willing to pay much more than what EHA pays as salary. And they said 2-year fellowship, 1 year in the parent hospital, 6 months in another hospital, and then 6 months they want to run, some courses, in person. And at the end of 2 years, they will be given a fellowship in rural healthcare. And you have to read their brochure. It would look like a Christian brochure when we are writing. So God is using, ways. These are encouragements for us. Probably a ray of light when we are seeing a dark tunnel. So we are, we have opportunity to work with disabled. This is a picture from state home for destitute women with mental illness. In the state of Uttarakhand, any woman or any lady, if they are moving around, without anybody, they are brought to this house. This house can actually accommodate 90 people. In 2015, because they are people with mental illness, some kind of, they were all locked up. During winters, they would not put heaters on because they can't trust these women. And they are not given toothbrushes or anything because they feel that through toothbrushes they can misuse it. There were some deaths happening there. About 4 or 5 women died because of exposure, meaning cold and various things. But then we got an opportunity in 2016. Now it is 9 years. We are still running that place. No, not even one death due to that. Now there are 150 people in the place where 90 people are there. And they are building another facility. But the good bit is the government changed. We had a Congress government. We thought when the BJP comes, we will not get it. The BJP is most happy to give it to us because they can get all the credits. Our name comes nowhere. Whatever good the government does because government is funding it. But we are very happy. And so that's the joy of working alongside. It comes with a lot of pain. This is one of the palliative work which we have, both of that. And that's a Gujar clinic. Gujars are nomadic people. They are actually Muslim, but very typical. They are vegetarians. They take care of cattle. If you read Jeremiah, there's one place where he is asked to go to the house of this people who don't drink wine. It reminded me of those because they go by their elders. They are nomadic people. They have elders. They have that man is an elder in that village. So if he says everything will go, if he says no, nothing will go. Very good people to work with. We are able to work with them. So those are different opportunities for us to work. We are also working with disaster management. EHA has a DMMU, and we were able to go for wherever earthquakes, floods. Recently, Manipur violence. You would have heard about Manipur is northeast of India, and EHA could go. Some of our people could go, and they could do good work. That's disaster. And this is Anugrah project. When you are taken through pain, good can come. Anugrah, this is in Herbertpur. Anugrah was a boy born to Mr. Robert Kumar, our community health person. And this child had cerebral palsy. And he had hydrocephalus, various problems. And when he was born, then they said for anything, any therapy, they have to go 40 kilometers. At that time, he had a two-wheeler, and to go was difficult. Robert himself had grown up in a Christian orphanage or a home. So his foster mother, who is from Switzerland, told him, who continued to keep the contact, that Robert, why don't you start a center for children with disability, an intervention center? Robert said, what and why and how can I do it? To tell the story, because it's now 23 years, it has grown. From a small early intervention center, it has become a big center which is recognized by the government. And we now have a community-based inclusive development course which is recognized by the Rehabilitation Council of India, a 6-month course for people who, primarily for families, adults who have people with disability in their home. So we have taken various people and we are training them. They get a 6-month course training, and it is also recognized, and they can go back, and in time we are hoping that we will be able to work. We also do awareness with the schools. This is a sports day for disabled people, and we do it in the schools to raise awareness, and we found that this is also a way to work with alongside. That's a boy who came up as a small child. He's on a wheelchair. He has a lot of coordination difficulty, but he does excellent knitting. And he's a very brilliant fellow. And we could also employ him. That was a video. I don't know. I think time is going. I will just run through because a few more things which are there. And then I was thinking something fishy. How can a Muslim, Pradhan bring it? So I sent a local evangelist to investigate. I have not put his name. So Sadhiram went and investigated. He said everything is right. This is right. I said we are going to do it. So a surgery which would cost you, at that time 150,000, now much more. We could do it only for the cost of implants. And that's not what it is. When she was being discharged, her daughter and son-in-law came from another city and they sat in my OPD. Doctor, what is the bill you tell me? I said 60,000 rupees. No, doctor, tell me the truth. Because they thought, they are from Uttar Pradesh, that we would send somebody to get the money back. They could not believe. And then they started crying. And I was amazed. For me, it's a privilege to operate. I am an orthopedic surgeon sitting in a corner. Nobody will come for me at that time for a hip replacement because, this is done in bigger centers. So this was an encouragement. This happened, I think, in 2017 or so. This one doesn't have, I think. So I don't have the dates. So that was one. And this is an amazing story of a boy called Shahrukh, a Muslim boy. You know about this? No. This guy will become a Shahrukh Khan because he's another fellow. He was in class 8 when he fell from a tree. He had a broken spine. His mother is a widow, Muslim family with no support. Mother works as a maid. Nobody in the family will care for him. He was lying in one corner with bed sores. Our family, our community health team went there. So initially they would not even tell such a boy exists. Then they went in. Then they brought him, catheterized, did all that. That was first step. Second step, he went to a school, Christian school, Sisha school in Selakui. They changed, disabled friendly school is very difficult. They were willing to make a ramp, put his classroom down. This guy graduated, he's done high school, and today he's running a community health center. He's self-dependent. Then IIT Madras brought this, this is the bike come wheelchair, battery operated, and they wanted to pilot it. We got 4 of them, and this guy got it. Now he comes on this small thing, 20 kilometers to a hospital. He's an advocate for disabled people, advocate, not the legal advocate, and I'm amazed. And he's now a confident fellow. This actually it can stand, it has a button, it will allow him to stand and then move around in the house, and he comes back. This is pretty expensive, and it's a patented thing. They have not yet started marketing, we could get it. And he comes, that's a disabled, we had a public rally and he came with that. That same bike, he comes. And today he is a hero in his village. And I was thinking, where would it be possible? I would not be able to do it. It's a teamwork, and it's also because we are being there. Years ago, my uncle who had come from US, we went to a prayer meeting. So we are visiting. I am in Nagpur. Our another aunt stays in Bhopal. They went to a prayer meeting, and he's supposed to speak because he's a visitor. You know how many people came? 7 people. 5 from our family, pastor and one pastor. So my uncle, who was the host, was very embarrassed, and he said, I don't know whether it is a rain or whatever. Usually a lot of people come. And this uncle of mine, I think, but he said, told one sentence. It's not your ability which counts, but your availability. This was, I heard it when I was in 12th standard. I have noted it down. And it's so very true. It's not your ability, but your availability. And I think God has enabled us. Then it's a privilege. When I first came to Habatpur, I was a young man. I used to go to some village churches. Those are 2 village churches. One is Asgarpur and this is Raipur, about 35 kilometers from our place. And it was a joy to see a church come up there, all because of the help. And one of the things was, most of the pastors are known as our hospital employees, and they leverage it because the people like it, because they will come to the pastor, give a recommendation letter, doctor, you tell, doctor will see you, and the pastors will use it. Now it's a double-edged sword. If the police catches them, anything they do will be taken as done by us. But one of the things which God taught me was, soil erosion happens when there is deforestation. You want to plant trees. But what if you plant a tree and pluck it and every 3-4 years put it somewhere else, the tree will never go. I thought Habatpur is like a tree. And God challenged me, you should be there for long. And that's what I think we are able to. And we can see the fruits, We will not be able to plant a church. And Ray Windsor, I forgot, Ray Windsor was the person who was involved. In the 25th anniversary, he wrote, as we are told, the prime aim of these missions was to establish churches. Many of the mission hospitals failed to establish churches. So in the 25th anniversary of Jubilee, you should think, because you cannot plant, you should handhold with people who are specializing in church planting, IEM and FFPB and many others. Today we may not have those organizations, but we may have evangelists. Habatpur, we are privileged to work with almost 40 to 50 evangelists all around. Earlier in Christmas programs we used to call them, so at one point there were 60 evangelists. Some true, some false. But then we have 60 evangelists. I was thinking, where will I get 60 evangelists? And this is north of India. But they are all able to, during COVID, every month, I am really challenged and very encouraged our employees, we have a campus church. So you don't have to really contribute because the chaplain is paid by the hospital and others. No? So the believers or the members are not used to contribute. But during COVID, we were getting salaries and we shared stories that many evangelists cannot. Can we support them at least for the home ration? You would not believe the church where the collection would be 25,000 rupees every month. We were supporting 15 evangelists, paying them 3,000 every month. And for almost a year or two. And since that time, our giving has increased. It has not reduced. So I thought God is using, teaching us and our community itself. And this is one of those churches. That church which I went to in 2010 or 11 is now a big church. They have so many believers. And the pastor there is amazing fellow. He's been beaten up. He has 2 or 3 police cases, anti-conversion case, but he is bold. So I was thinking, can we? So I thought, if the hospital is around, this will be there. That's another. We have a college. This is the building now. We have now 30 students in GNM, 20 students, and many of them are good stories. I thought, this is all not our own work. We have many partners, many people, and these are among the first few batches. There was a big flood happening in Uttarakhand, and this girl, her name is Monica Goswami. She was from that village. This is up in Uttarkashi. Actually from Yamunotri, Gangotri, that area. Most holy place for Hindus. She went through a big emotional trauma. She saw her house totally destroyed. And that's the time she was supported by someone and she came. Today she is a nurse. She has got a government job. Amazing. That is even more amazing. She is from, her mother is no longer there, brought by a father who is a security guard, supported by somebody to study. 4th year, now today she is in USA. She is in RN. I thought, studied from where? Harvardpur, and she's cleared the exam. One Gadwali family which was in US was looking for, like Abraham sent Eliezer for somebody, This girl, I thought, what? She's very happy. We are not happy because she had a commitment of 2 years with us. She didn't complete that. They paid away, that guy came and said, no, I'm paying everything, the bond and everything, and I'm taking her. We were very happy because, this girl who did not know a word of English would not come. Today she's in English, she's in US. So this can happen. Maybe Uttarakhand will become something like Kerala after some time. Kerala is transformed by nurses who went to US. So I think there are a lot of challenges. Remote locations, shortage of staff. I think the most critical is staff. Finances, infrastructure, legal and other compliances, those are areas of the chair. But I want to share a couple of personal stories. This is for my encouragement. Dr. Tagami said he had to wait for 40 years. His father, were you there on Sunday? Some of you were there. This is my friend, Sandeep. This is a true story. When I tell, I cannot also believe this has happened. We studied together from class 8. We were together. In MBBS we were together. He became an anesthetist. I became an orthopedic surgeon. He wanted to be a surgeon. He missed it. So he was very upset. But he's a Jain. Jains are, pakka vegetarian, all that. He got married to a lady who is an Ayurvedic doctor. I didn't know she was a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master. You know Reiki? Reiki is a new world religion. I also never knew till the problems happened in their family. She would do crystal gazing. She had clients come from Bombay in flight. 1 hour she was charging 30,000 rupees for healing. They have this concept. First you healing by touch, and when you are a master, you heal without touch. Almost like Jesus telling, the centurion said, Master, you tell me. She had clients, so she was catering to clients, giving them healing. By powers she was getting from the universe. Reiki is like that. in short, they went through big trouble. My friend who grew up with me, I thought I knew him, he had bipolar disorder. I didn't know. He got married. I am in Odinchantram. One day he calls me, he is crying on the phone. I thought he was a fellow who would act. I thought he was playing a joke on me. He said, Matthew, where are you? I want to come where you are because I am getting suicidal thoughts. I don't know whether I'll live. This is in 2000. We left him. This is 2003. Okay? Old story. I thought he is calling me, he won't allow me to put down the phone. Then I realized it is true. So he comes to me in Odinchantram. Then I realized I can't recognize him. He has tobacco addiction, alcohol addiction, he is on medication on all these. And he tells me, Matthew, I take these medicines, nothing happens. I can't live. Whenever, even on the train, he had, in those days flights were not there, difficulty. To cut the story short, they came, they stayed with me. And that's the time Anu had a miscarriage, so we don't know how to cater to them. They are pure vegetarian, our mess cannot have. So I called my mother from Kerala. They came and stayed with us. And he had sessions with Dr. Sushil Tarian as a psychiatrist, and he had counseling sessions with Dr. K. Ojan. Total non-Christian, this fellow, and he's coming to this. He said, Matthew, this campus, I don't know, I could see a big difference. You cross the campus, this is a different world. You are living in an imaginary world. You don't know what the world is like. He's telling me. 3 days of counseling. He said, I have stopped all medication. I have stopped tobacco. And Dr. K.O. John told him, you are in a rat race. He said, yes. Exactly what Dr. K.O. John, I am like a rat and I am in the gutter. I need to come out. I didn't know. He used to beat up his wife. His wife was so scared of him. We don't know. We used to meet whenever, once in a while, happy family, good food and all that. This is in 2003. But the story doesn't end there. He got better for some while. I told him about Hansraj Jain, another Jain Christian who was a Christian missionary, and another friend of mine who now runs a church at those days. They go to Nagpur, they get a Bible, but they go back to their old style. I have met them in 2007, 2009, because when we came to North India, whenever we used to go back, we will pass by Nagpur, they will come and meet us, give us food. I thought everything is okay. Fast forward, 2011, I am in Havartpur, again the same phone call. This time his wife is calling, Sandeep is in a very bad state. We are bringing him to Havartpur. You know how he was brought? Another anesthetist friend of mine and one more person came. They were injecting chlorpromazine, Largactil, because this guy was maniac. They would not know when. Even in the airport they were wondering, so they had to sedate him and they brought him. And I was scared because this guy is coming, what will happen? We had Raja at that time. Raja is a psychiatrist. Again the same amazing story, 3 days, big transformation. But this time the things had become so bad, he had become so violent, his wife will not stay with him. We didn't know. Every time we go out, this lady will lock the room and we have a maid. She will be either in the kitchen or she will be walking out. She cannot stay inside. Third day she told Anu, things are very bad. This guy, I cannot live with him. He's very violent, he can kill me anytime. When Anu told me, and Anu said, why have you get this, you will get into trouble. Anything happens, you will have it. We prayed and then we found, one day we entered that room, there are cards, tarot cards. So every day she will pick up a card and she will think this is going to happen. She was carrying all this. Then she said, I don't know, he will call me Bhaiya. Matthew Bhaiya, whenever we come to you, and they will be with us in prayer. And they have recorded my prayer. In a week, big help. And she said, she told me, we came with this card, we'll throw away all that. I want to know, this is some truth, because the peace I'm searching for, I get whenever you pray. I said prayer is not a mantra, prayer is not something. You should pray in your own words. This is 2013. 2014, again a big problem. This time she goes away from Nagpur. She calls me from another city saying that I cannot live with him. But I am getting suicidal thoughts. They have one son. I don't know. Find a counselor for me in Nasik. I don't know anybody there. Through some contacts I got, she went to a pastor. Pastor's wife was a good counselor. And she has no gospel. Sandeep, at least I have had this. The pastor's wife tells him, God's idea is that husband and wife should not separate. You give one more try. You pray. This time, something clicks. She has made up her mind that she is not going back to Reiki, Tarot and everything. She comes back and goes to the church. I had suggested in 2004, my friend, who is now a pastor. And she becomes regular. In 6 months, she gets baptized. This fellow continues to have alcohol and various other things. But their family are very happy. His mother has called me, brother called me, sister called me, and they thanked me that they have saved the marriage. More so, what had happened was, all the money was operated by her. When she left, she froze all the accounts. So they are more worried because he is a very rich man. He has a 30-bed hospital, even with bipolar disorder. He has a 30-bed hospital. And he has another 30-bed hospital where he has rented. His monthly income at that time was 5 lakh rupees. Minimum. So he was a very rich man. So his family wanted the money, so they don't want. More than all this, they are worried about the money. Now today, he is also baptized. And this story, but that doesn't end. The trials began. Their son became a software engineer, got a job in Pune for his last year. For Sandeep's birthday, he comes back to Nagpur. He has fever. In 3 days, he is dead. When I hear it, this happened last July. Sandeep calls me, Siddhant, बहुत बीमार है, मुझे नहीं मालूम, वो जिंदा रहेगा नहीं रहेगा. And he puts the phone back, and then I can't contact. Then Tripti messages Anu, Siddhant is no more. I said, what is this? I couldn't believe. I want to tell you, amazing, amazing, amazing. This lady is now a Sunday school teacher. She was telling, God had given her 1 Corinthians 15, and she was teaching her Sunday school that what is sown is perishable, what rises up is imperishable. That this body is not what we are for, but it is an eternal. From 1 Corinthians 15, she was giving those verses as memory verses to her class. And when I thought they would be broken beyond, I was wondering if this has happened to me, I would need counseling. I would not stand on my feet. Here she was consoling the whole family. Nobody, when I went there, everyone is crying. She greeted me came to the Mathew, thank you for coming. Aap aaye, acha laga. And then for 2 days I didn't speak. I had no word. My friends came, a lot of people came, and they all thought this family is done. I thought all will say, a curse is upon you. This happened last July. They came in November. And I have a recorded testimony for those who would want to hear. Her testimony is amazing. She said, if I had not known Christ, I would not have stepped. And I am happy that my son has not faced the ills of this world, is directly in Jesus' presence. And she is now part of CFC Church, Zach Poonan's church. And he also, this boy, was part of Zach Poonan's church in Pune. I still cannot believe. And now, every once in a while, she will be giving Anu verses. She is a wonderful Bible expositor. They are elders of a church. This guy who would always be drinking, smoking, has a wonderful lifestyle. Every time he calls me now, he says, praise the Lord. And I am always wondering whether I should say praise the Lord or what I should say. I am amazed. But why I said it took 30 years. 30 years of our friendship at a time when he went through such difficulty, such a problem. I thought, God is amazing. And I've had the great, I would say, the privilege of seeing such transformation that it can happen. If we, stay through, I don't know what it was. And so I would end here. Our time is up. But God is a faithful God. And just want to leave you with one more thing. Some time ago, I had heard what is the root word for witness in Greek is martyr. What does martyr mean? That you have given up your life. So the root word for witness is martyr, and only a martyr can be a witness. So the question today is, am I willing? Many times, I think a missionary to Burma, I forget his name. No, it was not somebody else who said, the only problem was I was a grain of wheat afraid to die. A grain of wheat afraid to die will remain alone. But if it is willing to fall down and die, it will bear fruit. I think that's one of the, every time I go through a deep trouble, I am reminded by these. And you know what? Sandeep and Tripti, because they don't have any more children, they don't want to give their wealth to their family. They have called me up and said, Mathew, we want to make a foundation, you should be the chairman, we would give it all for church building and charity. I was thinking that's a knee-jerk. I would tell him, no, you still have a good life, they are worried if something like Siddhant happens, what would be? And they are not, it is not out of, they want to pledge it so that their wealth is used for God's work. And I was thinking, how, where, why? And in my short lifespan, I have been able to see, wonderful. And this testimony is an encouragement for me. I share it. Every time I share it, it's for myself and for you. Thank you. You can pray for us, visit us. Those of us who want to come, there are 19 locations. So you can come 19 times to India and then make a choice. Some of them, wonderful locations. So you have medical tourism. I do hip replacements, knee replacements. Knee replacement will cost you 1.3. So I will tell you. For 1 peso is 1.5? Yeah. For 100,000 pesos, you will get your knee replaced. You won't get it in Philippines. And for 120,000, you will get a hip replaced. With American implants, Zimmer and Stryker.
Thank you.
No. It is made possible because we are able to. I was thinking, today I am an head of a 150-bed hospital. I have a nursing school. If I were to go to a corporate, I would not be, I would be one consultant. Every time I am seeing, in 2007, I signed checks worth 4 crore rupees, that is 40 million rupees. I have never seen 100,000 rupees, in cash. And there would be contractors who are rich people who would say, sir, please sign the check, and they would stand. I said, what is this? And during COVID, and this building and many things, and I was thinking, I would not be. And it's a privilege. And God has enabled, I would say, that God has enabled us, for me, I think those miracles are for me to believe that this God is real. And we serve a wonderful God. So may God bless us. And I thank you for your patient listening, and thank you for this privilege of